Hi guys, welcome to MMA Wired. Pride brings downfall. Must have been one of the first morals taught to you. And of course, who doesn't want to give a punch on the noses of those arrogant, cocky people who just brag and consider themselves so highly? Well, those moments in the UFC ring when cocky fighters just get destroyed are so satisfying to watch, right? By the way, please do like, share, and subscribe, and also hit the bell icon so that you never miss your dose of entertainment. So, without further ado, let's dive into today's venture, when cocky fighters get destroyed. Number 5. Israel Adesanya vs. Marvin Vettori. Israel Adesanya and Marvin Vettori met for the first time inside the UFC octagon in 2018. It was Adesanya's second fight with the organization, and he was yet to become the middleweight champion. He outclassed Vettori for 3 rounds with a higher striking volume and efficiency. The future UFC champion won the fight via split decision, with one judge scoring in Marvin Vettori's favor. It went on to become a cause for Vettori to boast that he had not lost the bout. The Italian Dream held on to that belief for years until he faced Israel Adesanya again in 2021 at UFC 263. When asked during an interview ahead of UFC 263 about his learnings from the loss against Israel Adesanya, Marvin Vettori said, "That wasn't a loss. I won the fight, but now we get to settle the score." He laughs, but he's gonna see. "I'm going to settle the score once and for all, and I'm going to show the world who's the best middleweight around." When the two fighters met at UFC 263, Israel Adesanya came out triumphant rather easily, landing a much higher number of strikes throughout the 5 rounds. The last style bender also defended 10 of Marvin Vettori's takedowns, winning fair and square with the scorecard reading 50-45 in his favor. Number 4. Conor McGregor vs. Nate Diaz. Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz met at UFC 196 in 2016 after Rafael dos Anjos pulled out of his fight against McGregor due to an injury. Meeting at catchweight, for which Nate came in on short notice, both fighters made it clear that they absolutely hated each other. Engaging in his usual mental warfare, Conor McGregor was pretty articulate about how he was the best in the fight business and how he was going to eat Nate Diaz alive inside the octagon. He belittled Nate at the UFC 196 press conference and said,
"I'm certainly going to toy with the young boy. I'm going to play with him. His entries and his exits, his retreats, his feints, his patterns are all identical. He can't break out of his set routine, so he's very, very predictable. I think the speed, people gave Jose the speed advantage. But that was a mistake. When the fight began, I had the clear speed advantage. I was light on my feet, zipped in and out. I think it will be very, very evident, the speed difference. I also know he's heavy on his lead foot, but really now he's like an injured gazelle and he's more heavy on his left foot. So these are subtle tells that I tell. So I'm going to go in and play with him. During the fight, Diaz was struck a few times, true to his usual self. However, in the second round, he began piercing McGregor up and had the Irishman wobble on more than one occasion. Finally, when Notorious couldn't stand on his feet any longer, he shot for a takedown, which proved to be his undoing. Nate Diaz took Conor McGregor's back and submitted him via rear naked choke, handing the Irishman his first defeat inside the UFC octagon. The loss brought a significant speed bump to McGregor's unbridled success and, for the first time, made him seem human and very beatable. Number 3. Ronda Rousey vs. Holly Holm. Rousey was considered one of the deadliest MMA fighters of her time, even considered unbeatable by some. Holly Holm, on the other hand, was multi-time world champion in boxing and a formidable challenger for the UFC title. Ahead of the fight, Ronda Rousey predicted that she would defeat Holly Holm. She said,
"She's a 19-time boxing world champion, not MMA world champion, and I believe that I'm better than every other girl in every area of MMA. MMA striking is different, and I think I'm the best at it."
You're not the first person that thought that you had the perfect plan to beat me. It's not the first time your camp thought that they had the perfect plan to beat me. I'm going to show you on Sunday why I'm the champ.
During the fight, Holly Holm dominated Ronda Rousey from the get-go and ended up KOing the champion after a head kick and a few punches in round 2. Apart from being one of the biggest upsets, it was a big humbling experience for Rowdy as she suffered the first loss of her MMA career. She fought for the last time a year later against Amanda Nunes and retired from the sport after losing via TKO inside 50 seconds of round 1. Number 2. JOANNA vs. Rose NAMAJUNAS. JOANNA JEDRZEJCZYK is a former UFC Women's Strawweight champion who holds numerous awards in the MMA promotion. Apart from being the first Polish fighter to win UFC gold, JEDRZEJCZYK holds the record for most title fights in UFC's women's divisions and most wins in the organization's women's strawweight division. JOANNA JEDRZEJCZYK won the UFC Women's Strawweight Championship in 2015 and defended it 5 times over a period of 2 years. At UFC 217, she faced Rose Namajunas for her 6th title defense. During the face-off ahead of the fight, JEDRZEJCZYK taunted Namajunas by putting her fist in the challenger's face, who was keeping calm, saying the Lord's Prayer. Since that wasn't enough for JOANNA JEDRZEJCZYK, she further belittled Rose Namajunas, saying, "There's only one joy queen of the world and it's me. I'm the champion and everyone knows that. I think you cannot be the champion because you just can't do this. You can't be with the media. You cannot deal with the pressure. It's too much for you. I will retire in the future as undefeated." During their fight at UFC 217, Thug Rose TKO'd JEDRZEJCZYK in the 4th minute of round 1, causing a huge upset in MMA history. It also served as perhaps the most humbling experience for the former UFC champion, as it was the first loss of her MMA career. JOANNA JEDRZEJCZYK couldn't win her title back despite a rematch 5 months later. Number 1. Conor McGregor vs. Khabib Nurmagomedov. Conor McGregor's loss at UFC 229 is perhaps the best example of a UFC fighter getting humbled inside the octagon. This is especially true considering McGregor's perennial arrogance was switched up a notch and the kind of beating he took from the Eagle during the fight. There are many instances of Conor McGregor insulting Khabib Nurmagomedov ahead of their bout, from offering him whiskey to calling fighters from Dagestan weak. Notorious said at the UFC 229 pre-fight press conference,
"As long as it takes, I believe one. He's a glass jaw. And I've seen this man wobble many times. I've seen his brother sparked unconscious in another promotion. I know he is afraid of a smack. And if you're afraid of a smack off me, a smack will feel like a double-barrel shotgun. So I believe inside the force. But I have been wrong before. I will be prepared for 5 rounds. You're looking at a fighting veteran."
When the fight took place on October 6 in 2018, Khabib dominated McGregor throughout the fight. While the Eagle dominated the Irishman through his well-known grappling, he also outstruck him through to the 4th round. After converting his 3rd takedown of the bout, Khabib Nurmagomedov submitted Conor McGregor via neck crank. While getting pounded during the fight, Conor McGregor even tried to calm his rival down by reminding him, "It's only business." So these instances prove one should not brag too much, otherwise, if defeated, the insult is even greater. It's indeed satisfying to watch egos smashed in the ring and makes the game more engaging for the audience. Hope you liked the video. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and also hit the bell icon so that you never miss any upcoming amazing content. Thanks for watching. MMA Wired will be right back with more amazing content just for you. Till then, keep growing, keep smiling.